I didn't work this hard to become average, he reportedly added. We were supposed to be royalty. She started acting like we were regular folks, and that's when it all started crumbling. She couldn't even keep the books straight. In perhaps the most stinging part of his tirade, Todd went after Julie's involvement in the couple's financial collapse, the very crimes that landed them both in federal prison. While both were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion, Todd seemed to shift blame entirely onto his wife. She played innocent, like she didn't know what was going on with the accounts. But Julie had access to everything, he said, with venom in his tone. She could bake a pie with her eyes closed, but couldn't balance a checkbook. Please. He even insinuated that Julie made things worse by trying to fix them in secret, suggesting that her quiet attempts to cover their tracks may have deepened their legal woes. I told her once, a lie covered by a casserole is still a lie. Todd quipped darkly. Prison made me see the truth. The most revealing part of Todd's roast came when he admitted that prison had given him time to reflect. And he didn't like what he saw when it came to his marriage. Being in here strips you down to who you really are. And what I realized, I was married to someone who was afraid of being extraordinary. She liked safety. She liked stability. But I wanted power, influence, legacy. And she just wanted us to be comfortable. He described moments during their reality TV years when he allegedly begged Julie to expand their brand, to write books, launch her own product lines, or take on more of a leadership role. But she'd always say, let's just be grateful for what we have, Todd mocked. And I thought, well, if that's the bar you're setting, don't be surprised when we trip over it. Julie's silence is deafening. Julie Chrisley, currently serving her own sentence in a separate facility, has not publicly responded to Todd's remarks, but insiders say she's been devastated by the leaked recordings. She's heartbroken, one source close to the family said. She stood by him through everything, even when he was at his worst. And now, from behind bars, he's throwing her under the bus like she's just some housewife who couldn't keep up. Julie has reportedly been focused on self-reflection and spirituality during her prison time, participating in Bible study groups and avoiding the press. She believes in redemption. For both of them, the source added. But Todd's words, that's not redemption, that's revenge. Savannah and Chase are reportedly stunned. Todd and Julie's adult children, Savannah and Chase, are said to be stunned and deeply hurt by their father's public comments. They've been trying to hold the family together, another insider revealed. Savannah especially has been fiercely loyal to both parents. But hearing their dad speak about their mom like this, it's shaken her. Savannah has yet to issue a statement, but fans noticed she removed several old photos of Todd and Julie together from her Instagram over the weekend. Chase, meanwhile, allegedly confronted his father during a recent prison visit. He told Todd, "You don't get to torch Mom just because you're mad at yourself." It was intense, the insider shared. Fans react. This is not the Todd we loved. Social media erupted in the aftermath of the news, with fans divided on whether Todd's comments were honest reflections or cruel betrayals. He sounds bitter and ungrateful, one fan posted. Julie may not be perfect, but she kept that whole circus running for years. I always knew Todd was a control freak, but this is next-level narcissism, another wrote. Maybe prison broke him, one sympathetic follower speculated. But dragging Julie like this, it's low. Still, a few defended Todd's remarks, suggesting he's just telling his side of the story for the first time. They were both in it, a commenter pointed out. Maybe Julie wasn't as sweet and innocent as she seemed on camera. What comes next? Now that the shocking comments are out, the future of the Chrisley marriage appears to be hanging by a thread. Some speculate that Julie may pursue separation once they're released. Others think Todd will attempt to walk it back once public sentiment turns against him. Regardless of how the drama plays out, one thing is clear. The once glamorous Chrisley empire continues to unravel in dramatic, headline-grabbing and welcome fashion to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Todd Chrisley says Julie set bar low, roasts his wife. Todd and Julie Chrisley have shared the story of their time behind bars and their early release with fans ever since their presidential pardon. While speaking out about various issues in the modern prison system and sharing emotional moments, the couple has also shared some lighter stories. In fact, a recent share between the two even came complete with Todd roasting Julie. The Chrisley Knows Best recently talked about the adjustments of the outside world on their podcast series. Todd and Julie Chrisley became well known to audiences through their reality series, Chrisley Knows Best. The couple had been convicted back in 2022 over charges including tax evasion and bank fraud. Originally, the couple was expected to spend a combined sentence of 19 years behind bars. However, the two saw an early release back in May when they were granted a presidential pardon from President Donald Trump. Since their release, Todd and Julie have been sharing their story with various outlets. As previously reported, this even includes the return of their podcast series, Chrisley Confessions 2.0. During a recent episode of their podcast series, the two discussed how tabloids talked about them at the time of their recent release. In particular, Julie touched on how she looked in photos. Julie especially highlighted how she looked at the time, but shared she was turning it into a positive. She added, "Now, was there a horrible picture that came out of me? Yeah. But you know what? The way I flipped that is, look at me now. People think I'd look even better because that horrible picture was out there to begin with." Todd then began to tease Julie about the moment. He shared, "Listen, I will say you set the bar low. You had to go nowhere but up. You had to go nowhere but up." Todd felt he understood where Julie was coming from when dealing with hair color. Julie felt Todd wasn't being very nice with his comment. However, he shared, "Listen, I'm just trying to be honest. That's what we have here. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw you, when I got out of that car, I started thinking about going back. But then I thought, let me embrace this. This is a moment." In the middle of this, Julie bluntly asked, "Are you kidding me right now?" Todd then shared this was one of the first times he saw her with dark hair. For his part, Todd noted that he could empathize as there was some concern about his gray hair. As he shared, even the warden offered to help him color it. However, he felt he was good at the time. Julie then revealed that while the prison had a salon, she was still required to buy dyes from the prison commissary. She then explained she used a dark color to cover up any gray hair. She mused, "Everybody thought I should be blonde. But it was really hard to be good blonde in prison, especially when you have gray like what I have." In a bombshell that has fans of Chrisley Knows Best in disbelief, Todd Chrisley is once again making headlines, and this time, it's not for courtroom drama or prison revelations. From behind bars, Todd has allegedly launched a scathing roast against his own wife, Julie Chrisley, claiming she set the bar way too low in their marriage and let herself get comfortable being average. The remarks, revealed through a series of leaked letters and recordings made to a friend, show a side of Todd that fans have rarely seen so brutally on display. In true Todd fashion, the comments are laced with biting sarcasm, dramatic flair, and more than a few eyebrow-raising jabs at the woman he's been married to for nearly 3 decades. "She was supposed to keep me sharp, not let me get soft." According to the leaked audio, Todd began his verbal takedown by describing his disappointment in how Julie handled their fame, fortune, and eventual downfall. "Julie used to be the one who pushed me, who made me feel like I had to earn it every day. But somewhere along the way, she got too comfortable," Todd said. "She stopped demanding excellence. She let herself believe that Southern charm and a good casserole were all it took to keep a man like me happy. That's setting the bar low, real low." For a man who built his entire brand on perfection, appearances, and control, it appears Todd saw Julie's relaxed domesticity as a betrayal of the empire they built together.